Good morning, fellow rebels. You'll never guess where I am. I am in Warren, New Hampshire. And who would have thought that you would see a missile in Warren, this small little town of Warren, New Hampshire? Well, let me give you the story as to why it's here. So the story behind this rocket, there's a man named Ted Asselane. I'm not exactly sure how you pronounce it, but he was stationed in Redstone Arsenal, Alabama. And he noticed that there were a lot of these arsenals like this, these missiles. They're called Redstones. He noticed they were just lying around. They were just not being used for anything. And this particular one here in Warren, New Hampshire had the engine and guidance control package already taken out of it. And it was just being used for display purposes. And he wanted more people, especially children, to know more about the space program and rockets in America. And he knew that the majority of the kids in America were far removed from that. So he decided he wanted to take this particular missile and erect it somewhere in the country that more children could, study more space program or be more excited about it and be more interested in it. And he thought, well, what a better place to put it in than New Hampshire, because astronaut Alan Shepard was from here. And so they decided to put it here in Warren, and the Warren Council voted on it in 1971, and they said yes. And so that started the trek of this missile going from Redstone, Alabama, all the way up here. And it's quite an interesting story. First of all, they were fined in Ohio for not having a permit for shipping it. And then they went the wrong direction here in New Hampshire and ended up missing their escort vehicle. They broke down on Main Street and had to be towed. And then when they finally got it here in close to Warren, the welcoming committee here in Warren was told that, oh, it's on its way. So they all jumped in their vehicles and they drove south to hurry up and see it in transit. And it turns out that it was just a local septic tank pumper here from Wentworth, New Hampshire. So the guy decided that he knew that he indeed had to get this missile put here because more people definitely needed to know what a rocket looked like if they thought it might have been a septic tank pumper. So anyway, this is a really cool little story, and that's the reason why this rocket is here in Warren, New Hampshire.
Not many times can you see a building or a church or anything that was here before America was a country, but this town was founded in 1763. And there's a school there.
We're just walking around. I don't remember what the name of this town is. Wentworth, New Hampshire. Look at the buildings around here. It's so cool. Look at this church. Look at that. That is amazing. Congregational Church. 1829. It's pre-Civil War. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Look at those doors. The doors are not original, but oh my gosh. But look at the view over there. Wow, that is so pretty. Town square with a gazebo in it. Look at all the old houses. So cool. I bet you can hear that church bell ring throughout this whole community.
They still have these, or whenever you could tie your horses up to.
That's original.
I think that's original. Isn't that crazy? This bridge was built in 1827. Oh, it was planned in 1827. Completed in 1829. Continuously used until 1999. This thing is built rock solid.
Look at this.
the different layers of wood.
All the different layers of wood that they've done, and it's curved. Look at that.
It took a lot of work.
That's crazy.
And back when this was built, they did this all by hand. There were no machines cutting this wood. Or maybe they had some kind of milling machine, I'm not sure. Virginia. Here, fastened by wood, had wood pegs. This is the town of Woodsville, New Hampshire. Right across the creek here is Vermont.
Look at that. That is gorgeous. And look at this little house over here next to it. We're going to turn over here in front of it. Look at that little house. Isn't that just as cute as it can be? Reminds me of a storybook house. This is Woodsville, New Hampshire. It's really close to Haverhill, New Hampshire. So we're going to go see another covered bridge up in Bath, New Hampshire. And then our next location is really kind of cool, but kind of creepy at the same time.
Unusual.
Unusual. Yes, we'll talk to you about that when we get there. This is just up the road from Woodsville, New Hampshire. This is Bath, New Hampshire. Look at the church.
Maple syrup in here.
I just love their old churches. Oh, you can actually drive across this bridge?
Big little town.
Oh, very cool. It's $1 fine to drive any team faster than a walk on this bridge. Wow, I didn't know you could drive across this bridge. Sorry, the windshield's a little dirty. Oh, wow. Are you driving faster than a walk?
5 miles an hour, you could probably walk real fast.
You could probably walk 5 miles an hour.
It's walk super fast. It's 1804.
This is I guess the path that his daughter took when she carried the dirt in her apron. I guess this was the path that she walked. I don't know that I'm gonna walk it. It looks like it's not very well taken care of down here. Oh yeah, it says Mercy's Garden Path here. It's not very well maintained. That's as far as you can go. So that's kind of sad they don't maintain it. Oh, I'm not walking through that.
I guess it opens up. Probably the cabin probably was down here somewhere in this field.
Well, there's a sign over there, but I don't know what that sign says.
That's too many right here.
We've made it to our final stop for the day before we head back home. And anyone who knows me or has watched this channel for a little while knows that I really like walking through old cemeteries. Now, the place where we've stopped is a little different because it's actually a pet cemetery. But what's even more strange about this cemetery is It's a horse cemetery. And it's way down here. Well, so that's not way down here, but it's down here on this little path. Yeah, you probably hear some traffic noise because this is right next to Interstate 93, isn't it?
Yeah.
Interstate 93 here, and it's called Littleton, New Hampshire is the name of the town. But it's just a little walk from where you park. It's kind of a nice picturesque setting except for the noise. But anyway, so Eli Wallace and his wife Mina owned some horses, and apparently they were very well loved. These were like dogs to most people. These are part of their family, and whenever they died, they buried them. Now this was in the late 1800s, early 1900s.
And all their harnesses and bridles and blankets and everything, their saddles and everything were buried with them.
That's crazy. But what's interesting to note is that the backhoe was not even invented until 1950. So, can you imagine trying to bury a horse? This was their horse named Maud. This is their horse named Molly. 1887 to 1919. That was Maud was also. This is just the heads, the stone just marking the Wallace name. And this over here was Maggie. So Maud, Molly, and Maggie. Now Maggie doesn't have any dates on hers. No, there's no dates on Maggie's grave. This is my first pet cemetery I've ever been to. And it's pretty interesting.
Yeah. Never seen a horse cemetery before.
Yeah, I know. It's even more weird because it's just these three horses, but it's pretty cool. So if you ever find yourself up in Littleton, New Hampshire, you might want to come to visit the Wallace Horse Cemetery.